Most people think becoming better means adding more into their life, more routines, more self-help, more hustle, more goals. But the truth, the raw, uncomfortable truth is this: you grow faster by removing, not adding. You rise by subtracting, not stacking. Your breakthrough happens when you finally stop carrying the weight that was never yours in the first place. And here's the dangerous part: some of the things destroying you, they don't make noise. They don't announce themselves. They hide inside your habits, inside your childhood conditioning, inside your scrolling, inside your silence. If you don't remove them, they become your personality. And by the time you realize it, it's already too late. So today, right now, I'm giving you the 9 things you must remove quietly if you want your life back. Not next week, not when I'm ready. Now, this video is not advice. This is a warning. Let's begin. 1, remove the need to be understood. Most people won't understand you, not because you're complicated, but because they're limited. Psychology calls this social validation dependency. A trap where your emotions depend on someone else's approval, understanding, or acceptance. Every time you try to make someone get you, you hand them power over your peace. When you stop explaining your soul to people who can't see past their own mind, your energy returns, your silence becomes strength, your path becomes clear. You weren't born to be understood. You were born to evolve. Remove the need to be understood before it suffocates your identity. 2, remove the guilt of outgrowing people. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. When you grow, you will lose people. Not because you became worse, but because you became different. Psychology calls this identity dissonance. When your new self clashes with the memory people have of the old you, they'll say, "You've changed. You're different. You're not the same anymore." Good. You're supposed to outgrow the version of you that was built on fear, people-pleasing, and survival. Never apologize for evolution. Guilt is the chain that keeps you tied to dead environments. Remove it before it convinces you to shrink back to the person you fought so hard to stop being. 3, remove the habit of over-explaining. Every time you justify your choices, you're telling your brain you did something wrong. Over-explaining is a survival instinct, a leftover from childhood conditioning where being misunderstood meant rejection. But now, you're an adult. You don't owe everyone your reasoning. Psychology shows that when you talk less, people respect you more. Mystery creates value. Silence creates power. Boundaries create peace. You don't need to explain your dreams, your plans, your goals, or your changes. Remove the habit of explaining before it strips you of your dignity. 4, remove uncontrolled digital input. The quiet killer of this generation is not addiction to dopamine, it's addiction to distraction. Your brain was not designed for infinite scrolling, constant notifications, and thousands of voices screaming for your attention. Studies show that overstimulation rewires your brain, reduces dopamine sensitivity, and makes normal life feel boring. That's why you can't focus. That's why you feel lost. That's why silence feels scary. You don't need to delete everything. Just detox quietly, unfollow, mute, unsubscribe, disappear from noise without an announcement. Protect your attention like it's oxygen, because it is. Remove digital overload before it steals your identity and attention span. 5, remove empty conversations. Some people talk to connect, most talk to respond, and some talk just to hear themselves. Psychologists call this conversational narcissism, when conversations are one-sided, draining, and leave you feeling unseen. Stop pouring emotional energy into people who listen only to reply. Stop wasting depth on those who live on the surface. Silence is better than shallow talk. Solitude is better than forced conversation. Remove empty conversations before they convince you that your voice doesn't matter. 6, remove the fear of being boring. This fear is not real. It's created by impression management, the psychological trap of trying to look interesting so people like you. But the truth is this: when you stop performing, you start attracting. When you stop trying to impress, you start to connect. When you stop pretending, you finally breathe. Being real is not boring. Being peaceful is not boring. Being grounded is not boring. Remove the fear of being boring before it turns you into a character instead of a human. 7, remove the need for closure. Closure is a myth, a story your mind invented to calm the pain of confusion. But some things never make sense. Some people leave without reason. Some endings don't come with explanations. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of not knowing. But real strength is this: living without the answers, moving without the apology, healing without the explanation. Remove the need for closure before it keeps you tied to a chapter that was meant to end. 8. Remove self-criticism disguised as motivation. Your mind believes whatever you repeatedly tell it, and many people bully themselves thinking it's self-improvement. But Stanford research shows that self-criticism raises cortisol, kills learning, and destroys emotional resilience. You're not failing. You're learning. You're not behind. You're becoming replaced. I'm not enough with I'm getting better. That one shift rewires your subconscious. Remove self-criticism before it becomes your identity. 9, remove the urge to prove your worth. This one destroys more lives than bad habits. The need to prove your value usually comes from childhood, where worth was tied to results, not existence. So now you chase approval, you seek validation, you overwork, you overthink, you exhaust yourself trying to earn what should have been unconditional. But hear this: your worth exists even when you rest, even when you fail, even when you do nothing. You don't need to earn the right to exist. Remove the urge to prove your worth before it makes you spend your entire life trying to win a race that never ends. The transformation. When you remove these 9 things, something incredible happens inside your brain. At first it feels wrong. Your mind resists. You'll feel empty because pain felt familiar and familiarity felt safe. But then slowly the noise fades and your brain resets. Your focus returns, your clarity returns, your intuition returns, your identity returns. You stop reacting, you start thinking, you stop chasing, you start becoming. Your mind stops being a battlefield and becomes a home again. And for the first time in your life, your mind belongs to you, not the world. This is the power of removal. This is how you rebuild your life. This is how you protect your peace before it's too late.